Here are 5 dramatic Emmerdale spoilers for next week, including the police taking Moira away and Jay under suspicion of killing Ray. Stay tuned. Spoiler 1. Moira is arrested for human trafficking. The village is awoken with a convoy of police vehicles heading down Main Street. They head to Butler's to interview the staff, and Robert and Victoria do what they can to paint Moira in an innocent light. The police have a warrant to search the farm, and Moira is confident they won't find anything. But they soon emerge with evidence, and Moira is arrested on the spot on suspicion of human trafficking. Meanwhile, Kim wonders if Joe had anything to do with Moira's arrest. She tells him to stay out of it. Spoiler 2. Ray's body is found. The police search the depot over the drug suspicions, but Caleb and Jay are shocked when Ray's body is discovered inside a van. Billy breaks the news to the villagers in the cafe that Ray's body has been found. Plenty of them look shifty, but did any of them kill him? Spoiler 3. Jay is prime suspect. Jay is under pressure as the police want to know his timeline after using the van. They leave, telling him they'll be in touch. Caleb wants to know if Jay did it, but Jay insists it must have been Celia who killed Ray and hid his body in the van. Meanwhile, Laurel is furious with Marlon that he didn't tell her about Ray sooner. She later implies to the police Jay might not have been happy about her relationship with Ray, but she insists Jay wouldn't have killed him. Jay is aware all eyes are on him. He tries to defend himself, but it gets heated. He soon points the finger at April, but this angers Dylan, who storms out. Spoiler 4. So, who did kill Ray? Everyone wonders who killed Ray. As Jay is taken in for more questioning by the police, it's the talk of the town. But as they wonder who's really responsible for Ray's death, it's clear they all have secrets. Spoiler 5. Paddy breaks down. The search for Bear is ongoing, but it's looking increasingly unlikely he'll be found. Desperately upset, Paddy tries to keep busy. But as Lewis tries to comfort Paddy, he just makes things worse. Mandy calls Paddy to check in, and he puts on a brave face. But as soon as he ends the call, Paddy breaks down in uncontrollable sobs. Dylan doesn't know how to console him. Will Paddy ever get closure? And if you enjoyed these Emmerdale spoilers, subscribe so you can come back for more. Ravi is questioned by the police in our EastEnders spoilers for next week after being drugged by a vengeful Nicola and Harry. He's horrified to learn what he did while under the influence. But what consequences will he face for his actions? Stay tuned for next week's dramatic EastEnders spoilers. Spoiler 1. Ravi faces police questioning. Following the events of last week, a confused Ravi wakes up in the street. Returning home, Ravi charges his phone and discovers that something terrible has happened as a result of his drugged-up actions. Speaking to Priya, Ravi confesses to his part in their loved one's injuries, leaving her horrified. Later, he worries when the police ask to talk to Priya. After speaking to Priya, the police request an interview with Ravi. Can he talk his way out of trouble? Spoiler 2. It's the last straw for Oscar and Lauren. Max lets Lauren and Oscar down when he turns up late to a memorial for their late sister, Abby. Fuming, Lauren tells Max that he's not welcome and orders him to leave. Before he goes, Max gives Lauren a speech he'd written for the event and asks them to read it on his behalf. Can Max make amends with his children? Spoiler 3. Patrick reaches out to Jasmine. With Patrick still struggling with his guilt, Yolandi suggests that he invite Jasmine to visit Anthony in the Chapel of Rest. Spoiler 4. Lily rages at Jasmine. Jasmine offers to watch Charlie for Lily. Unaware that the baby monitor isn't working, she leaves Charlie alone while she meets with Patrick in the bar. When Lily returns, she's horrified to find Charlie sobbing and explodes at Jasmine for not noticing. Spoiler 5. Jasmine's out of control. Later, Patrick invites Jasmine to stay at the Truman household, but shares his concerns with Yolandi about her violent tendencies. However, she soon spirals again when Oscar tries to speak with her. Spoiler 6. Chelsea shares a home truth. The next day, Jasmine turns up still drunk, having been out all night. Later, Chelsea tries to talk to Jasmine about how she's treating Patrick. In doing so, she accidentally reveals that Anthony wasn't exactly a saint. How will Jasmine react? And if you enjoyed these EastEnders spoilers, subscribe so you can come back for more news from the square. Here are 6 exciting Coronation Street spoilers for next week, including a pregnancy ordeal, a baby blood transfusion emergency, and a plot for revenge. Don't go anywhere. Spoiler 1. Becky plots revenge on Lisa. Tensions explode when Betsy overhears Lisa telling Carla that Becky has threatened to drag her down with her. Furious, Betsy storms off to confront Becky in prison, letting her know exactly what she thinks of her actions. Becky's fury is impossible to miss, but is she actually going to follow through on her threats? Meanwhile, Carla drops by to check on a shaken Betsy, who pleads with her not to leave. Will Carla stay by her side or walk away? Spoiler 2. Jodie finds a new home at number 8. Shockwaves hit when Jodie reveals she was caught up in the same car crash as David and Shona. Later, she's found in the hospital car park having a panic attack, admitting she has nowhere to stay. Soon, David welcomes her into number 8, introducing her to Bethany and Lily, who warm to her instantly. But when Nick calls round while David is at the hospital, he's stunned to find Jodie already making herself at home. The atmosphere turns frosty, and tensions rise between Nick and Jodie. Shona spots bruising on Jodie's wrist, and she explains it came from trying to escape an abusive relationship before the crash. But is that the full story? Spoiler 3. Debbie digs in as Ronnie faces tough choices. At the hotel, Ryan confronts Debbie with the evidence that Carl has been siphoning money from her for months. Debbie confronts Carl. Will his explanation be enough to sway her? Meanwhile, Ronnie admits to Michael that he's worried Debbie might ignore all advice and plead guilty. Over at the flat, emotions run high when Kevin tries to change Debbie's mind, only for Ronnie to step in and remove him when tensions boil over. Pressure mounts as Carl pays Debbie another visit, while Bernie urges her not to blame herself and reminds her that Billy's death was an accident. Ronnie supports Bernie's words, leaving Carl increasingly panicked. Surrounded by conflicting voices, what will Debbie ultimately decide? Later, Ronnie is shaken after overhearing Mary and Asher discussing the crash at the cafe. Stepping in, he apologizes on Debbie's behalf, clearly struggling under the weight of it all. Spoiler 4. Will's jealousy explodes as Megan's secret is nearly exposed. Megan and Daniel arrive at number 1 with Bertie's birthday cake and presents, but Will's jealousy is obvious. Daniel later tells Megan about Will's recent misbehavior at school, including receiving detention. When Daniel invites Megan to Bertie's party, she's excited. But trouble looms. As Megan leaves the shop, Will confronts her, demanding to know if she stayed over at Daniel's. At Bertie's birthday party, the tension peaks when Alia asks Bertie to fetch cake candles, only for him to accidentally pull a pregnancy test from Megan's bag. How on earth will she explain that? Megan is later found in floods of tears in Victoria Garden by Leanne and Eva. The drama escalates further at the bistro when Daniel thanks Megan for taking Bertie to school and admits he's starting to fall for her. And the chaos doesn't stop there. As Daniel heads to work, he discovers a rude symbol spray-painted across Ken's car. Megan soon tracks Will down in the Ginnel, confronting him over the vandalism and making it clear his behavior has gone too far. Spoiler 5. Todd battles grief and guilt. Summer visits the shop flat with a photo of Billy Mayhew, suggesting it be displayed at his funeral. While moved, Todd struggles to write Billy's eulogy. At the undertaker's, emotions boil over as the ambulance delivers Billy's body, leaving Summer in tears. Todd does his best to support her through the heartbreaking moment. Later, he's caught up in Summer's anger when she spots Debbie laughing with Ronnie, sparking further tension on the street. Spoiler 6. Harper's condition sparks panic. David and Shona's joy is shattered when an alarm sounds, and a doctor delivers frightening news. Little Harper urgently needs a blood transfusion. Terrified, the couple cling to one another, fearing the worst for their daughter. And if you enjoyed these Coronation Street spoilers, subscribe so you can come back for more news from the Cobbles.